Hey everyone, for my next lesson I'm just going to kind of play with my charcoal pencil actually. I'm going to try to work with some white gesso and maybe some pastels. So I'm using this watercolor art board. It comes in a pack. This is 9x12, but I've taken my big Fiskars cutter and cut it in half, so we're going to work on a 6x9 instead of a 9x12. I generally like to work small, so that's what we're doing. You could work larger, that's fine. Alright, so I'm going to take my board. I'm just going to start sketching. I'm not sure what brand this is since I've peeled it down, but I think they're pretty popular. I'm just going to wrap that so I don't get it on. And I'm just going to start drawing. Okay, so I started a piece and I didn't like it, so I've gessoed over my watercolor board, and I'm going to start again. I'm going to take my charcoal pencil and start ahead. I'm making my oval, and about halfway here is the eyes, and the nose is about halfway. Well, I'll go ahead and draw the lines, it doesn't matter. And about there's the nose, so I've got my eyes. Okay, and then my nose, and I usually do the triangle and fill it in on the sides. Same with the mouth. Okay, and bring it down a little bit. There's some eyebrows. I'm gonna fix the head a little bit. She's coming out a little bit straight on, so we'll just go ahead and go with it. It's gonna have it tilt a little bit, but I'll just keep it straight. Alright, so I'll give her a little bit of line here from about where the nose comes up to the point there, and come up and around, come up and around. And then we'll give her a neck. Let's see. We'll come around, do the shoulders. Let's see. I was going to give her some wings since the theme is creatures. I don't want to give her pointy ears. Let's see. Maybe we'll give her some sort of a little bun up there. And maybe she'll have some little wings. Like that. Okay, so now I guess she needs some clothes. Let's give her a dress. Okay, so I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to start kind of spreading this charcoal around. Just kind of, you know, be careful around the face where you're spreading it. And I would have a piece of paper towel so you can wipe your finger off if you need to. So I'm gonna go around her nose here and under her eye. Maybe bring some of the shadow into the side there. And her lip. Underneath. And her nose. And under her eye. Into her neck. And we'll just fill these in. I'm going to fill these in later with some gesso or something. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in her little eyeballs there. Maybe. You can kind of rub those lines out. I'll go over that with gesso. Okay, so we've filled her in with our fingers pretty good. I have not taught anyone how to do charcoal. I'm not really, I haven't really done a lot of charcoal, but I thought it'd be fun to play, and this seems pretty simple. So now the gessoing part might not be so simple, so we'll see how that goes. I think I'll use kind of a flat brush maybe. And I'll take some of the white gesso and maybe water it down a little bit. Let's see. I'll put some around her cheeks. This is not going thick. Maybe I should put a little thicker there. We can always go back in with the charcoal and fill in the spots we want dark. And add more lines. I'll do that side. And this brush is a, gosh, I think it says a 6, and it's, you know, flat. Go over her eyelids there. And our background is already gessoed, so if I didn't say to gesso it, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and gesso it. The charcoal spreads pretty nice on the gessoed board, better than it was spreading for me when I started and painted all over it. Okay, so just adding some gesso in spots you want to be a little bit lighter. We'll add some in the neck. This is pretty watered down, this gesso right here. And we'll go back in again, like I said, and add more charcoal. I think I'm going to take some clear gesso on the hair and just kind of spread that hair a little bit. Give it some texture. Yeah, I kind of like that clear just the way it looks on here. I don't know if you can tell. You can see it's kind of shiny, a little different. And again, I'm just playing. This isn't something I do all the time. This is just kind of a for fun lesson. Let's see. Maybe I'll use some clear gesso on her dress. Looks a little different than on her skin tone. And we'll go back in and add some color with chalk pastels also. And this is still the clear. Maybe add some clear. Whoop, that's too thick. Adding some clear into her eyes. Maybe a little bit of clear right here. I think I'll fix that a little bit with the white. Okay, so I'm adding white gesso again. A little bit more to the cheeks. Okay, so I'm letting this dry a little bit. I think it feels mostly dry. I'm going to go back in with my charcoal pencil and go over some spots. And I'm just using my finger again to blend. You could use maybe a Q-tip and blend it, but I like having my finger to do it. So I really like this clear gesso on the black. It gives it some tooth and texture. I like that. And the black also shows up darker, the charcoal on top of it, which I like. Okay, so I'm gonna go in around the chin, fill that back in, and then the neck. Kind of come around where her neck would sit. Okay. Kind of a Mickey Mouse fairy. Just kind of a interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go around her nose. Oh, maybe I should zoom in for that for you. I'm just going down under her nose and in the nostril part. And I'll wipe my finger off. And we can go back in with the clear gesso and set that a little bit so it doesn't smear. Alright, so I'm going to work on the eyes a little bit. And make the pupil. Same with this. Around. The pupil. I'm going to spread it with my finger a little bit. And I think I'll make the lids. The lid, and the same on this side. Fill that in a bit. Shade underneath. We can always add more gesso, add more charcoal, add more gesso, just going back and forth and playing. And I'm gonna fill her lips in a little better. Yeah, I don't really like that. I don't know if I can wipe up. Okay, so I'm going to take my brush and pick up a little bit of that. Okay. I didn't like it that dark on the bottom. You can always add more gesso in later, but... Alright. So I like that this is a little bit messy and not, you know, not perfect. The lines aren't, you know, perfectly straight. That doesn't bother me. Okay, so let's see. I think next I'll add some white highlights. Going with my number 6. I'm going to pull the water out and just maybe add a highlight in her eye. A little bit to the nose, and you can dab it up if you needed. A little in there. Some small lines in her lips. Maybe some inside there. Inside the whites, just a little bit. I'm not going to fill them all the way in. And on this one, oh, too much on my brush. And a little there. And I think I'll take just a little what do you call it? Watered down gesso. Let's see. And a little bit to her eyelid. Okay, I'm gonna clean out my brush and smooth that out a little bit. Just a wet brush is nice over the charcoal. And you can get some detail just moving the charcoal around with your wet brush. There's nothing on my brush other than water right now, and you can see it's making some line, a nice line. Okay, and you could maybe go in for the lips. Here, I'll zoom that in for you. You could smooth the lips out a little bit if you wanted. Underneath. Let's see. All right. Now I'm going to go back over some of the black part of the eye, because when you wet it, it gets kind of a matte look and takes away the dark part. I don't know if you can see that on there. You can see where I added water, and the dark part of the eye kind of looks more gray. So I'm just going to fill that part in again and add my line. Same with over here. Okay. Add the eyebrows back in. I think I like this. I think I'm gonna add maybe I should do watercolor instead of chalk. No, I'll do some pastels. I'm gonna let this totally dry for a minute, and then I'll come back with some pastels and add a little bit of color. Okay, so I think it's pretty dry. It dries fast, so I'm going to take my Stabilo Carbothello pencils and just add some color to it. I'm going to add this blue color. I'm not sure what color it is. It says 1400-435. But any pastels you have should work. Any chalk pastels should work. I'm just gonna lightly add some color in the background, and then I'll push it around with my finger. I think you can see that. Yeah. Okay, just gonna push that around. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of the background. All right. So I've got the background done. You could probably add more color if you wanted to. I think it's fine. I will go back over with the charcoal pencil and make some more lines where the blue overlapped and made it look a little hazy, I guess. A little less defined. There we go. And add some lines. All right. So I think I will add some pink to her cheeks. Let's see. This color. This is, I don't know what color this is. You can see it's kind of a watermelon-y color. That'll probably be okay. I'm gonna clean off my finger since it's got a lot of black on it, so I can spread that. I'm just gonna lightly color some on her cheek and this cheek. And I'm just going to spread it in there. Oh, I picked up some black. You just got to be careful. It does, all the stuff does smear. And that is not coming off. Okay. I'm just going to wet that area because it's got gesso underneath. And pick up that color. Alright. I'm just going to go back over it. And there's a line now. That's okay. I just don't care that much. Do it a little darker. She wanted darker cheeks. If it really bothered you, you could go back over it with gesso and you won't have that, but I don't care. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. Alright, I'm not sure I want to do her lips. I think I'm just going to do her cheeks since her lips are black right now. I like that. I think I'm going to take the blue. This is one shade darker than the blue I used for the background, and I might add a little bit of blue in her eyes. I will zoom in for that. I'm just taking it, just adding some lines in there. Okay, so there's a little bit of blue. Let's see, next, maybe for her dress, maybe a gold color. This is the hardest part, is figuring out colors. But you know what, you can go back over it with the gesso and try it again. Alright, so I think that's kind of a good color. I'm going to add some more of the black. Oops, my lines got a little soft when I gessoed, so I'll add some in there and you can go back over it with your finger. I think I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to her face and bring some of the yellow all around. Just make sure you're cleaning off your fingers before you spread the color around. Okay, maybe add a little bit in here. Just try not to spread it into the black like I just did right there. Oh well, that's okay. I'll just go over it with some gesso. This is the white gesso. You can still see the yellow in there. Okay. It is messy, this using chalks and charcoal together. It's going to be a little messy, and that's okay. Add a little bit in there. Maybe add a little yellow in there. Maybe a little in there. Just warms up her face a little bit. Okay, so that looks okay. I might try a little red through her lips. Let's see what it looks like. And just adding some lines. I'll just lightly spread that in there. Just gives her a little bit of pink. I don't know if you can even see that on there. It's definitely pink in person. Okay, so I'm going to go back over with my charcoal pencil and add some lines back in. Alright, so last is the wings. I think I'm going to take a little bit of this. It's a little bit brighter than the blue I used. This is the blue I used for the background. This is the blue I'm using for maybe a little bit of shading under the wings to give it a little more contrast. Maybe I'll add some in here. Oh, probably can't see that. Okay, I'll add some more in here. Just be careful going around the black. Maybe some around the edges. And a little up here. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so last I'm going to do her little wings. And I'm going to take my gesso and do those. I'm going to use my number 4. I'm going to dip it into the gesso and make my little wings. I'm going to start from the top. I'll just do one side at a time, I guess. And I'll start here. And I'm just dipping my brush each time I do a little feather. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna thicken it up down here a little bit to match this side. They're a little off. That's okay. Alright, so I lost a little bit of her highlight over here, so I'm going to add that back in. And a little bit there. And a little on his nose, or her nose, I guess. And her chin a little bit. I'm going to put some here. Just use my finger to dab up some of it. And maybe some up here for highlight. And last, I think I'll add some little dots to her hair. You could use the end of your paintbrush and dip it in the gesso. Maybe we'll give her some. Okay, I think that's pretty good. You could spray it with a fixative spray. If you're going to do that, you need to do a light spray. You're not going to get up close. You're going to keep it far away. Do a quick spritz over. Let it dry. You know, you can do it again. Let it dry. You can do a few coats doing that. It's never going to be totally fixed unless you just spray the crap out of it. You're going to want to probably put it behind glass, frame it behind glass, and it'll be good. You can spray it a lot, but it's not going to look soft and pastel-y when you're done. It's going to look dark and shiny. It definitely won't look the same. Anyway, that was fun. I hope you liked it, and I can't wait to see what you guys make in class.